Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Nendoroid 2029 Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. You can see her right there in front of the box. We'll go ahead and put it off the side real quick and take a look at that box. And yep, it is a Nendoroid box, except well, a little more pony-ish. You got the My Little Pony logo right there, Good Smile logo right there. You got, her number right there in the Nendoroid series, right? Nendoroido, and her name in katakana, Twilight Supakulu. Yeah, and there's a picture of her right there with a nice little background of kind of some of her color scheme stuff. You got the window right there with the Twilight Sparkle in the English and some nice little purple bits. And hey, look, there's a bunch of cutie marks. Yes, that's what they're called. All over the box as well. And of course, on top here you have a shot of her in a pose, and on this side you have some poses. On this side you have some poses. On the bottom you have a pose, and on the back you have more poses and some warnings and whatnot. And this is, where does it say it? Ages 15 and up, I believe. Somewhere. Usually it says, I'm not seeing it here. Uh-oh. There it is. Ages 15 and over. Not for children. Yes, I know. That sounds weird to say. In the box, of course, you have some instructions, which are in Japanese and also in English. Granted, she's pretty easy to figure out because, well, there's not a whole lot to her, considering even by Nendoroid standards, she's pretty straightforward. So, Twilight Sparkle. My past is coming back to haunt me. So, yep, a new Nendoroid release of Twilight Sparkle from Friendship is Magic, the series that premiered a while ago. You can see there in front of it, yeah, getting close. Yeah, you can see it is Twilight. She got a big old, in the default face, you got a big old smile. You got a purple eyes. You got a big old smile. You can see her tongue right there, the little weird thing. You got her hair with the, the stripes right there, the dark hair, and of course the unicorn horn, and there's the wings, because this is the princess version, I guess. And hey, look, underneath said wings is behind it. You can see, look, there's her cutie mark, this little spark. There's her tail, again with the same striping as the rest of the hair, and you got that right there and everything on the mane. And of course, the news in the display stand, which are very thin and everything. And there you go. So yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's why do we have a Twilight Sparkle now? Well, Nendoroids are made for adults, and I want to point out something, which is the show she came from, Friendship is Magic, and I'm gonna sit down for this. Premiered over 15 years ago. If you were a child when it came out, in the age range, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, you're probably in your 20s now, which means, yeah, you are the prime demographic for this. And then, of course, there's people like me who are adults when they watch this stupid show and will also buy this stupid thing. So, hey, yeah, past coming back to haunt me and also making us feel real old when I mentioned that, yeah, the show came out over 15 years ago. Yeah, it's an Nendoroid of Twilight Sparkle, and she is very nice, actually. She looks real good. She kind of got a little bit of this is creative license taken compared to her show design, but kind of have to do that because translating those show designs from 2D to 3D was always a bit of a weird process. But she also, pretty darn good looking. But she also, of course, you see, as I mentioned, the stand she comes on, which have the the multiple arms right here, so you can have her up high if you want, of course, for a good reason. This right there, so those hinges and the swivel right there on the stand. She's one of the few Nendoroids, if didn't want that to stay in there. She's one of the few Nendoroids who can stand without the stand. Yeah, because she's a quadruped, so she can stand just fine without the stand, which is great. You don't need it if you don't want it. But yeah, posability, head, that's a little problem right there. Yeah, these wings come out of these sockets really easily because I feel like they made a poor decision regarding how they do this. But anyway, the head right here can go left and right and forward and back and everything and all around because it's that Nendoroid like ball socket swivel thingy. So yeah, you got left and right and up and down, and you get looking all over the place like that if you'd like. Front legs here, you can they're also on the same sort of thing the head is. So you got the forward and back and outward and swivels and all sorts of stuff right there. The wings here are on ball joints, although they don't sit in their sockets very well because, again, they decided to do something very strange here. But because of that, they can swivel around, again, pop out of their socket really easily. This is the most frustrating part of their whole thing. They can swivel up and down and a little flare out a little bit, but not too much, because if you do, you'll just pop them out of the socket and flare in a little bit. You do have some degree of posability, but also they pop out really easily. Be mindful of that. The hind legs right here are only on... If I get that corrected right there. There we go. The hind legs right here only on simple swivels, so forward and back a bit, although a bit of angle. And also they pop right out. Horrifying. And right here, the tail is on a ball joint, so you got left and right and up and down and all around, and there we go. So, that's the base figure. That is the base figure right there. So, included in her box is several things, including a spare joint, just in case something breaks. You know, so it's got the ball joint with the little swivel bit right there, like that. You have a tree stump with a lectern on it, I guess, with a blank book, because I probably should gonna write in it. You have alternative forelegs, you know, basically they're bent, so you know, you can have and they also have little lettering, so there's the right leg and the left leg, and they have little letters inside there, so you can tell which one's which. Right there. Stay. That. You have alternate pair of wings, which are open, or basic full splayed wings, which these are peg in, not ball joints, that's why I think that's kind of a weird thing. It should have been either ball sockets or just pegs. Either way, they should have done that a little bit better, and because these fall out really way too easily. She also has two alternate faces on top of her default face. She had a bit of a winking face right there, and another, well, kind of Twilight's going a little crazy. Twilight Nanas. Twilight's going a little crazy again. This is from a later season episode. Which one was it? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which face this was specifically, because I remember the face. I'm just trying to remember which episode it was from. I just remember it was a later episode, I believe. It wasn't Lesson Zero, because that was a different set of faces. And if you pre-ordered from Good Smile, either the US shop or the international shop, you got this little bag. And in the bag, you got a special stand which says the My Little Pony logo on it. Granted, it is the G5 logo, not the G4 logo, but, you know, brand synergy or something, I guess. So you got that. So, of course, swapping parts, pretty straightforward. You know, for the legs, just, you know, for both of them, it's the same thing. Just, you know, pop that out of the socket, make sure the joint comes with it, and then take the leg here and just pop it into the socket, and now you got that, which, you know, very common thing for them to just kind of do that. And of course, now she's unstable because, yeah, she's now unstable, which means you'll definitely need the stand if you're using this leg, which I'm going to use this stand. Unfortunately, with this stand, the problem with it, as I'll show in just a second as soon as I get her plugged in. There we go. Is getting her all the way down on the ground, and hey, look, well, for one, the wing just came off again. And yeah, she doesn't really, the way the arm works doesn't really stay on the stand particularly well, and this is just kind of a disappointing that this is the best you can do. Is you can get her almost all the way on the stand. It's just one of those things. It's kind of a bit of an oversight, honestly. And I wish the arm was designed slightly differently because of this, but it works just fine on the regular stand. But yeah, it's a little bit annoying with this one. But yeah, you have that, you know, alternate arm. It's the wings. Well, yeah, just, you know, pop these out. You know, they're on ball joints. And then these ones just peg in. They peg in, which these are a lot more solid. Yeah, they just peg in, and now, hey, look, you have more of the more flared out wing, and you can adjust those. You can spin those a little bit, you know. Yeah, you can have them up like this as well. So yeah, there you go. So, you know, she can be flying. Yeah, and of course, yep, this facilitates that. Although they kind of tell you, they actually warn you specifically to be careful about leaving this long term without, you know, like that. But, you know, that's, you know, as long as you center it right, you know, she should be just fine. Like that. And of course, with the faces, what you got to do here is just pop the front of the face off, stare in the void. Pop the hair off the pegs, just slide it up off the pegs, and then swap the face. Like so. We're just going to do the winking face for now, because, you know, everything's just fine. Yep. And pop that on, and there you go. Now, she's winking, because, you know, she's a princess. Are you a princess too? And getting this adjusted, you can have the, yep, you can adjust this a little bit. Now she looks more like she's kind of all flying. Right, now she looks like she's flying. Princess Twilight Sparkle's flying. And yeah, the thing is, you don't really have an interaction with this. This is just a display piece, which, yeah, neat, I guess, but yeah, probably just going in the bag for me. Probably just going in the bag because it just takes up room. I kind of wish, if anything, like she had like a little effect part that goes over the horn to represent the magic, and maybe like a quill with the magic, magic effect around it that you can attach to the book so it looks like she's writing in it. I think that would have been a cool thing, but there you go. She doesn't have a couple of whole lot of accessories on, as you can see. There's really not a whole lot. It's everything. So there's that. As for some measurement stuff, her height from the from the bottom of her feet to the top of her head when she's, static, is 4 inches tall, or about 10.2 centimeters. Her length is 3 3/4 inches, or 9.5 centimeters. Yeah, 3 3/4 inches, or 9.5 centimeters from the front to back. And her total weight, just the figure, is 2.6 ounces, or 74 grams. And her weight with the stand is either stand, I think, is 3 ounces, or 84 grams. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to compare it to anything because I don't really have anything really compared to. I mean, I could go dig out one of my old pony figures, I guess, maybe, but that's kind of like, they're all like a decade old now. So like, I don't know if that's going to be useful. Yeah, it's a pretty nice little figure, honestly. It's a Nendoroid, so I kind of knew what to expect, but yeah, it's kind of nice. I kind of wish there was I just kind of wish there was some different accessory, maybe there's some more accessories type stuff, but I also definitely, the biggest problem for me though is definitely the small folded up wings do not stay in their sockets very well. They kind of suck at that. That's the biggest problem with it. And also this is just an oversight of the pre-order bonus stand is not quite big enough. It should have been a little bit bigger, or they should have adjusted how the arm works if they're going to do that, but whatever. She's pretty solid. I like her a lot. Of course, yeah, I was always, Twilight Sparkle was always the best pony. So I'm totally cool with that. The thing was, she, for me, cost, there's $59. She cost $59 with shipping from Good Smell. And then for me, because I'm in the US now, she cost me an extra $24 with tariffs and fees. Because stupid orange guy. Anyway. Which brings it up, which brought it up to pretty much just about, what was it? $20 or $83 total. So it's not a terrible price for Nendoroid, but considering her very low parts count, feels a little pricey. But I don't know. I'm not sure if because of reasons you might be able to get her cheaper from the Good Smile US store. I'm not sure about that. You might want to look into that. But that's how much I paid, is about $83. Not really happy with that, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, hopefully, things have been adjusted a little bit since. But yeah. If you get it for less than $60, that's a fantastic deal for a Nendoroid. But yeah, that's one of the things. So yeah, the other thing, of course, is, are they going to do more My Little Pony Nendos? I don't know. Am I going to get them? Not really. Probably not. I just want Twilight. If they do a Sunset, yeah, I'll do it. Or if they do a Equestria Girls Twilight, I'll do that. Get that one too. But yeah, as it stands, it's just, yeah, I'm only really interested in Twilight or Sunset. They might do the rest of the main 6. I don't know. They probably will. If this is successful, they might do the rest. So Rarity, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie. And yeah, you might be able to get your favorite pony, unless of course you're your background pony, in which case I don't know, unless you like the gray one, Yeah, but yeah, she's overall solid, but maybe unfortunately thanks to tariffs a bit overpriced, and again, simply the wings, the folded up wings just kind of suck. They don't like to stay on very easily, but overall, I like her. I don't regret getting her. So if you were, kind of one of those lapsed bronies or whatever, or just kind of remember the show from your childhood, she's a good solid buy. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative, entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and in the video. Check out my Ko-Fi and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.